The idea of the Beetle started with Adolf Hitler. In the 1930s, he wanted to create a people's car. Volkswagen literally means people's car, cheap, reliable, and capable of carrying a family on Germany's new autobahns. The result was the Kraft durch Freude Wagen, KDF wagon, a basic air-cooled car with a rear engine. The design was actually inspired by earlier models like the Tatra cars from Czechoslovakia, which Porsche likely copied, leading to a post-war lawsuit that Volkswagen settled years later. However, the Beetle didn't make it to consumers before Second World War. The Nazi regime built a massive factory in Wolfsburg, Germany, but once the war began, it shifted to producing military vehicles instead of the civilian Beetle. After Second World War, Germany was in ruins. The British took control of the Volkswagen factory. At first, they weren't sure what to do with it. They even offered it to companies like Ford, who famously turned it down. Eventually, a British Army officer named Major Ivan Hurst saw potential in the car and got production going. By 1949, Volkswagen was building the Beetle for civilian use. It was simple, cheap, and reliable, exactly what post-war Europe needed. Around 1950s, the Volkswagen Beetle became wildly popular worldwide. In the US, and it was a weird little car in a sea of massive American steel, but clever advertising by the agency Doyle Dane Bernbach flipped the narrative. Campaigns like Think Small and Lemon made the Beetle cool, humble, and honest. It was affordable, easy to fix, and had a kind of quirky charm. By the late 1960s, it had become a cultural icon, embraced by hippies and nonconformists, a total reversal of its fascist origins. They say cars have souls. And if that's true, the Volkswagen Beetle must be one of the kindest souls ever built. A small disclaimer. Thanks to everyone who's already supported the channel. If you believe in stories that dig deeper, that honor history, craft, and creativity, consider supporting the channel. Even a small donation helps keep these films alive. I'm gonna leave the links below. Now we're returning to the story. As the auto industry modernized, the Beetle fell behind. It was outdated, underpowered, and less safe than newer models. Production stopped in Germany in 1978, but continued in countries like Brazil and Mexico for decades. By 2003, the last classic Beetle rolled off the line in Mexico, marking the end of the original. In 1998, Volkswagen launched the new Beetle, a retro-inspired car built on a modern platform. It was more about nostalgia than practicality. It sold reasonably well, especially among younger buyers and those seeking something different. In 2011, Volkswagen introduced another redesign, sportier and more aggressive, but by 2019 the Beetle was discontinued entirely. However, the Beetle wasn't perfect and faced some failures. Automatic transmission failures became a calling card for the early 2000s models. Slipping gears, delayed engagement, and sometimes total failure. Problem with timing belt, a quiet assassin in the 1.8 turbo, miss one replacement interval, and the engine eats itself. Coolant leaks. Some of the owners said, it started with a faint sweet smell, then steam, then a tow truck, the plastic coolant flanges and water pumps. They weren't built to last. Windows that wouldn't roll up, lock buttons that refused to lock, little things until they added up. Electrical gremlins haunted the Beetle. Sensors, fuses, that infamous check engine light, always glowing, always judging, and don't get me started on headlights. So, it breaks, you fix it, it leaks, you patch it, it stumbles, you smile and keep driving. The Beetle's not flawless, but it's family. And family isn't perfect either. From Nazi propaganda to peace symbol, that's the wild part of the Beetle's legacy. It started as a product of Nazi ideology, but was reborn as a symbol of peace, love, and counterculture. The Volkswagen Beetle is more than just a car. It's a survivor, a paradox, a machine that was born in darkness and somehow, over decades, became a symbol of joy, freedom, and rebellion. And even though production has ended, the Beetle never really dies, because legends live forever. Volkswagen Beetle owners and fans, what's the one thing you love most about the Beetle, and the one thing you wish you could fix? Drop your stories below. If you love cars, storytelling, and also mystery stories, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you soon.